Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. Beautiful day out, sunny. I like the fact that we have more sunlight each day. Today's topic is going to be what started your chronic pain may or may not be relevant. So I will get to that in a minute. And enjoy some beautiful fresh air. Been inside all day. Hope everybody's all right. Relax your body. Let your breathing slow. It's a message of safety. All right, so what started your chronic pain or symptoms may or may not be relevant. And what I mean by that is, in the context of the brain creating pain, TMS, perceived danger pain, neuroplastic pain, whatever phrase you want to use to describe it, but basically brain created symptoms, right? What kicked it off in the very beginning may or may not be relevant. In other words, if you've had symptoms for a while, months, years, decades, what started it may have no bearing on why it's still continuing, right? May have no bearing whatsoever on why it still persists. I can say with certainty now, but back then I had no clue, but I can say with certainty now, at the time my symptoms started, I was in a marriage, young kid, 3 years old. He's 30 now. Go figure. Holy cow. 3 or 4. So, money trouble, stressful job, long commute. We were in a rental, not a home that we owned. Thinking about a second child. The marriage was okay, but had some bumps along the way. Wasn't perfect. And, generally, you know me. I'm generally a pretty happy, calm guy. But here I was, in my early 30s, going, how did I get here? I didn't sign up for this. I didn't expect to be in an okay marriage, young kid, maybe more kids, money problems, stressful job, long commute, and going, what the heck? When I was 18, I was reading business books and success books and thinking to myself, I'm going to be this wealthy businessman and all this stuff. And here I am just working, a regular job and kind of questioning how the heck did I get here, right? And I think that was what precipitated my onset of symptoms. And the other thing, which is funny, which may have something to do with it, my symptoms started the very morning of a golf outing at work. And I had never played golf before. I had a couple buddies teaching me for a month at the driving range, getting ready for this golf outing. And I wasn't overly confident. And I knew that my buddies at work were just gonna really rake me over the coals if I played poorly. Just bust my chops. And in hindsight, that scenario went back to my childhood days. When I was in, elementary school, I was in Little League playing on a baseball team. And one season, I had a zero batting average. I didn't hit the ball once. And I was terribly embarrassed. I quit baseball, never played again, not in a team way. And later on, in hindsight, I probably only figured this out a few years ago, that my brain must have been perceiving this golf outing and the risk of public embarrassment, getting busted on by my friends, as dangerous. And so as I was getting ready for work that day, getting ready for the golf outing, bending over to put on my underwear, whammo, back spasm. It's possible my brain was perceiving the risk of this day as too threatening, too dangerous, and so it started the symptoms. Gave me that spasm in the attempt to protect me. Now, fortunately, I made it to work, made it to the golf outing. I didn't do horribly. They didn't bust my chops too much. Hit a couple of good shots, lots of bad ones, but so did everybody. And it was over the next couple of days that things got worse and worse and worse. And That onset left me with 13 years of chronic back pain and sciatica. So what I'm here to tell you is that once the symptoms started and became persistent, what kicked it off was not relevant, at least in my scenario. And I didn't have to go back there and fix this traumatic childhood event of me being embarrassed in Little League and 0 batting average and not being a great sports athlete and all this stuff. I didn't have to figure that stuff out in order to get better. Because by the time things became chronic, I was so fearful of my body, of my back, of movement, bending over, certain body positions. Even bedroom activities became threatening and therefore kicked up some pain. And so, how symptoms started, if you're still trying to figure that out, may not be relevant. And even if you do know how they started, I don't think we have to do anything with that. I don't think we have to go back to the scene of the crime, so to speak. Whatever emotional chaos was going on, whatever possibly, a perceived injury, we don't have to go back to that and analyze it and figure it out and fix it. Because I don't know how we fix an old emotion from childhood anyway. I don't know what that looks like. And how do you know if you got it right? I don't think that's necessary at all. My entire approach in Dan's world is teach the brain that you're safe now in the present. Your body's fine. Your emotions are safe. Mentally, you're okay because you're not taking your own thoughts so seriously. You spend more and more time in a relaxed body. You're shifting your attention towards living your life. If symptoms are there, you're responding calmly with reassurance, right? This is kind of the formula that I teach, the safety strategies I teach. It's all built on a foundation of knowing what causes symptoms, the perception of danger, period. When mine started, there was danger. There was the life stress, the financial stress, the marriage stress, the relationship stress, the kid stress, raising a 3-year-old in the midst of all that, and on top of that, the threat of embarrassing myself in front of my entire company, really, but particularly the 4 guys in my foursome, or the 3 guys I was playing in the foursome with. And all of that threat just resulted in an onset of back pain. But because I didn't know what was going on, I fell prey to the chiropractors and the doctors and, going down that path. And the fear of the symptoms and the avoidance and the belief that I was broken and me talking about the symptoms. As a matter of fact, yesterday, go look at the video I did, 11 Things to Stop Doing. Guess what? Those come right from my personal playbook of things and mistakes I made. And 2 days ago, things I wish I knew sooner, right? Watch those 2 videos. You'll get a real good indicator of all the mistakes I made, why it took me 13 years to get better. But look, why the symptoms started may or may not be relevant to why they persist. And so forget trying to figure it out. Forget trying to go back in time, get into a time machine and correct all your past childhood traumas and worries and embarrassments and everything else. Forget all that. I don't think it's necessary. Focus on, I know that the perception of danger is creating the symptoms today, keeping them persistent today. And there are a number of perceived dangers, which, by the way, I covered in the past 2 days' videos. All the different things that the brain can perceive as dangerous. It's not just emotions, folks. It's all sorts of stuff. Go watch the past 2 days' videos. So if the perception of danger is what is turning on pain or keeping it going, teaching the brain that I'm actually okay now, today, in the present, is the solution. And I see it work all the time. I get comments on YouTube and Facebook daily from people saying, oh my goodness, this stuff is really working. I love how the simple approach is what's working for me. Get rid of all the complexities of this TMS mind-body space. And teaching the brain safety is working. I just posted my 70th success story, and on Friday, I'm recording 2 more. I probably have another 6 scheduled after that. So this stuff is actually working, And I've simplified it in a way that makes it accessible, something that you can implement. Focus on safety. That's the simple solution here. We don't have to overcomplicate it with 42 different TMS mind-body practices and processes. Focus on, are the things I'm doing, thinking, and saying creating credible evidence that I'm safe? Am I thinking better than I currently feel physically? Right? So, again, I'll state it. Why your pain or symptoms started may or may not be relevant today. And most likely I'm going to say they're not relevant today. The brain perceiving danger, the fear and the attention we give the symptoms is why they persist. Safety is the answer, folks. So hopefully that makes sense. I appreciate all of you, and guess we'll see you tomorrow. Love you.